Hello. You may not know me, but my name is Jeremy, and I'm a good friend of Joy's. And I know you all know the condition that Joy is in. Uh, Joy and I have been friends for a number of years. What you may not know, though, is that I've actually never met her in person. We met online. We've been talking for years, but in that time that I've been talking to her, I have come to realize how incredibly special a person she is. And even though I haven't had the gift of seeing her in person or hearing her beautiful voice, I don't really need to know how incredibly special she is. That's a gift that I haven't had the opportunity to experience. I know many of you have, and I suspect you know how special Joy is as well. Now, I have been helping to support Joy throughout this episode. It was shortly after I arrived here in the South Pacific. I moved here from North Dakota, coming here for adventure and wanting to see the world. And I was so full of life when I arrived here. And then it's been full of tragedy since basically starting in February last year. For over the last year, I have burned through all my savings, and virtually every paycheck has gone to cover Joy's medications. And I knew that I could only sustain that for so long, and it's been challenging, very challenging. I have had to put off paying all my bills. I have yet to pay my taxes. I have a debt with PayPal that I have to pay off. All of this, I can't pay any of this because all my money essentially is going to Joy's medications because I just can't bear the thought of her succumbing to this condition. It's, like I said, it's been extremely challenging. The other day, it's actually 2 Sundays ago, actually, I was at church. I've been attending a church here in Saipan called Saipan Community Church. And the Pastor Steve Dang, had a message about Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving in April, he called it. And at the end of his message, he asked for a couple volunteers, and he called in this one guy named Luke to come up, handed him a mic. He asked for a second volunteer, and well, nobody would volunteer. So he looked straight at me and he said, "Jeremy, come up here." And which is, if you know anything about me, you know I'm pretty humble and pretty isolated, so and kind of reserved. So it's not something I normally do, but I was asked to do something, and it was, as far as I could tell, in the service of God. So I did it, and so it was relatively easy. He wanted us to take the mics around and have people stand up and talk about something that they were thankful for. And so there were people who were just kind of genuinely thankful. There was a woman who was a cancer survivor who was thankful for that. There were people going through other hard times that were thankful for that. And when after maybe I don't know, dozen or so people, maybe a couple of dozen people offer something, he asked if there was anyone else that want to share anything. And so I was holding the mic, and I said, Pastor, I would like to share something. So I was like, since I have the mic already, I'll just share um, something. And so I shared Joy's situation with the church. I talked about what she's been going through. I talked about how I've burned through all my money, all my savings, how I can't pay my bills, and all that in order to help her, to help her overcome this affliction. I said though, but even though it's been extremely challenging, even though I've been in a very dark place for a very long time, I am thankful. I'm thankful that despite what I've gone through, Joy is still alive. And I'm thankful that I was able to help her stay alive despite everything I've gone through. The fact is, I'm scared about what will happen to her because we're at the point that I have no savings left. And when I pay for her medications, there's a delay. That's what happened this last time. It took a few days before her medication ran out. It was a few days before I got paid, and my entire paycheck went to her drugs. And then she needed more, and I didn't have any more. I don't have any resources to draw on. And so what I did when when your pastor told me to do something to save her, I did the only thing that I could do. I asked my coworkers if they could spare any money to help save someone they didn't even know. And several of my coworkers stepped forward and they sent somebody via PayPal to help Joy get what she needed. We're still there though. I still have to pay my bills. Joy still needs help. She needs more drugs. She needs more drip. They're moving her to the stroke unit. And I've been praying all day that she'll be okay, that she can hold on until we can get her help. Let me tell you another story about me. So shortly before I came here, and I was already planning on coming here, I had been helping a friend of Joy's, who was Joy's best friend. Her name is Jenny. I didn't know anything about Jenny's condition, not until not until the very end. I had been helping Jenny out with money. She had been having friends send me money to my PayPal, and I would forward that to her. I'd never keep any money that's sent to me that's meant for somebody else. And granted, there were times I was frustrated. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought she was just using me uh, as a conduit for the money. It wasn't until that last day. It was I was before work, and there was other things that led up to this. She had her Jenny had sold a bus for like $10,000, and but didn't have a way of cashing a check, so they forwarded the check to me so I could cash it and send her the money. Well, it was a lot of money, and so I told her I have to wait till it clears from the bank before I can send it, and it'll take several days because otherwise I'm going to be stuck with that bill. And sure enough, the check bounced. So we thought it was a bad check, and so another check was sent to me for about the same amount. And I said the same thing. I'm going to have to wait for this check to clear before I can send it because I just don't know if it's a good check. Well, I didn't know why she was doing this. It turns out that Jenny had a tumor that was killing her, and she needed the money for an operation to have it removed to save her life. I didn't know this until the morning I'm about to head to work, and Joy tells me about this that that second check hadn't yet cleared, and was begging me to just send $2,000 to help Jenny and so she could have her surgery to save her life. And it was early in the morning. I didn't know what to make of it. I was hesitant. As I was driving to work, I had about an hour and a half drive. And obviously, wasn't much I could do while I was driving. She kept texting me to please send her the money so she could save her life. And I hesitated. And then when I got to work, I had a meeting I had to go to, so I couldn't really do much yet. During that meeting, I got a text from Joy. It just simply said, Jenny's dead. I cannot tell you how I felt. She needed $2,000. I was concerned about having money for my trip out here. I had 2,000. That's about all I had. That's why I was hesitant to send it. But if I had, I could have saved Jenny's life. And you do not know the guilt I've had to bear for that for so long. It sticks with me. and it haunts me every day that I could have saved Jenny's life, and I didn't because I didn't act fast enough. I had no idea at that point in time that I would be facing the same situation with Joy. And I swore I would not let that happen to Joy, too. That's why I have been sending her all my money. Everything, anyway, anything that I can do to save her life. Believe me, the guilt sticks with you. And I cannot, as long as I have life left in my body, let her succumb to this. But we're at the point now that I don't have anything left. I am not one to ask for favors, especially when it comes to money. It was very hard for me to ask my coworkers to help me. But I knew if I didn't, I could never live with myself if I didn't do everything that I could to save her life. So I'm asking all of you, I'm begging all of you, if you can spare $20, $50, $100, we need to raise a little money for Joy's drugs so she can come out of this. I don't know how long this will last. I didn't know it would be over a year. But I'm not ready to give up on her yet. Please don't give up on her yet. And if you can help her, I would be appreciative. Your pastor would be appreciative. And I think God will see the mercy in your heart that you're giving to save her life. I haven't been helping Joy just to avoid the guilt. I've been helping Joy because she needs my help. And I am all she has. And I can't abandon her. And so I am pleading with you to please help me, help Joy. Because if you can imagine, she succumbs to this. I understand she sings for your church. Can you imagine not having Joy there to sing for your church? I can't imagine it. And I've never heard her sing. So please, if you can spare any amount of money, I ask you to please help in any way that you can. And not just with money, that's what we need mostly, but also with your prayers, because we need that too. And the fact is that she needs both to help her in her condition right now. God bless you all. And like you, I'm going to keep praying.